You're trying to be like funny or witty.
Well, a lot of the questions have been starting with things like, so when you're sometimes you try to be funny, or do you remember way back when you were younger? Way back when you were young?
Remember the olden days?
When you didn't have to try to be funny? Yeah.
Well,
yeah, in situations like this where I'm trying desperately to be funny.
Well, besides when you were talking with Claire, what has like been one of the most embarrassing or things that you regret saying just in the moment?
Oh, take a number.
Why are you making me really? Why are you doing this to me? No, I've definitely said lots of things. I mean, I think that it's. How about you guys? I was mentioning that before I come up on stage, I always say a little prayer. It's a little centering prayer where I say to myself, Misha, please don't say something that is going to land you in jail, you stupid fuck. And I do feel like there are times when, I mean, obviously we keep everything very much on the straight and narrow here. It's pretty much just straight up. Jeez. There's a problem, actually.
There's a problem. Here's what happens.
What does happen?
Every now and then things happen on stage because it's so loose and it's so improvisational that things will happen, and you'll get off the stage and think, well, that probably was a mistake.
Yeah. So, for instance, when Rich was minding giving me a blowjob.
That's exactly. I was going to say simulating fellatio.
True story, did happen. Might have been here. I don't know where it was.
It was on stage.
I was here and I'll never forget.
It seemed like a great idea in the moment. So the second I got off stage.
There's a lot of those little examples where you do things just because you feel so free and you feel like this is such an accepting environment and people aren't going to judge you. Well, that's not true. They're not judging you. It's not cool to get up on stage in front of a bunch of children and pretend you're blowing each other.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, there's a big way. Don't do that.
You know the old saying, blow me once, shame on you, blow me twice. There is really a lesson for the kids watching home. In the authorities. Why'd you go into this experiment? Answer our questions. We can move on from this. Or
can we have a different question that starts with something flattering? Not from you?
So at your con meet and greet, you told me that we're not a product of our past. And that really got to me. And I was just wondering, at what point in time did you come to that conviction? Like, at what point in your life did you decide that that wasn't true, that we're not?
God, that's a great question. I was listening to a story on the radio the other day about a guy who had grown up as a child soldier in Africa, and now he lives in New York, and he's incredibly well-adjusted and thoughtful, but he had gone through the single most horrific experience that you can imagine. He was kidnapped and forced to be a child soldier, and so obviously that shapes who he was. But at the same time, he managed to transcend it, so I think that there's some sort of transcendence that happens. We are certainly shaped by everything that happens to us. When Rich pretended to fellatiate me, that will forever slightly alter the trajectory of my life. But I don't let it define me.
Really? Because that's how
I don't know. I don't think that there was a specific time when I came to that particular realization, but I think it's definitely true. We can move past things. Hopefully, I'm hoping to anyway.
God willing, the creek don't rise, and the therapy pays off. I will somehow erase that moment. Or my children will find it on the web. One of the
They
two.
will find it. That's something also, a sidebar that I do think about, is like when the kids grow up, they're going to see this.
Okay. That's not right. This is the most depressing panel I've ever been. Shoot me now. There he goes down.